Hello, welcome. We are well and truly back for the brilliant show that is Boxing This Week. 40 episodes.
It's a big one,
pretty
man.
nuts. It feels big. There's quite a lot to talk about. We have got a fight down under. We have got that was a terrible accent. We've got Jake Paul.
Do that again.
We've
Do
got
that
loads
again.
to
Do
go.
that again. Do that again.
We've got a fight down under. Fight down under, mate. Sky
Rate
Nicholson versus
Rate
TR.
rate his Australian accent out of 10.
Please
That
don't.
was-
No, it's terrible. I can't really do accents. I really
Do
shouldn't
a
do.
Scottish
but
accent.
I'm not doing a Scottish accent. My mum's Scottish, and I'll do it
Do a Welsh
badly.
accent.
A Welsh.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should be able to do. The fuck is a Welsh accent? You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, you do it. I've done one. You do one.
I don't know. I'm liking enable 1 second.
All right. Well, you do that.
No. What do you want me to do? Welsh accent?
Yeah, go on.
No, it's terrible. I can't.
See, this is what I mean. Right. Well, very quickly, let's do the weekly roundup. So, the best news of the week: boxing is in the Olympics. Well done, Gennady Golovkin, Usyk, and anybody else that was involved. But those two were pretty big players in it. Eddie Hearn as well. It was confirmed today. Boxing will be at the LA Olympics in 2028. Good for the sport. Paolo's just disappeared. Cool. Good start. Don't know what's going on with him. I'll carry on. Philip Hrgović is going to be fighting Joe Joyce instead of Dillian White. We told you last week about all the cancellations in that event. That kind of saved it for me, I think. That's good enough. Claressa Shields has been cleared to fight. Here we go. And he's in the Bahamas. He's left, come back, and he is in the Bahamas. Why?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Okay. No, fair enough. And you just
There's no
reminded me
rules.
I need to do that. Anyway, right. So I was just doing the little weekly roundup. So boxing is back in the Olympics. Hrgović is fighting Joe Joyce instead of Dillian White because, as we spoke about last week, Dillian White has had to pull out. And Claressa Shields is cleared to fight after she was never really caught for doing drugs. I think it was cannabis that was in her system.
Yeah.
Something like that, but it flagged up basically. So she's been cleared now anyway. So it wasn't in performance enhancing. And finally, the full Canelo versus William Skull card has been released. It is not the best, but we have got Jaime Munguia fighting Bruno Sorachi. Obviously, Sorachi with one of the upsets of the year when he knocked Munguia out last year. And then we've got Martin Piccoli returning against F.A. Ajagba, which has been moved back slightly, or brought forward slightly, actually, by like a day. But it was always going to be on that week. So that's the weekly roundup. Key point is that boxing is in the Olympics, which is good. It should be. And hopefully GB can do a little bit better this time. Now, let's go straight into the main topics. Should Nick Ball have been disqualified against TJ Dehaney?
For what?
For kicking him. And then he got a point deducted.
What about the headlock that TJ Heaney got in him?
Agreed. But that happens all the time.
Eye for an eye. Also, am I all right? Is my signal all right?
It's okay.
Yeah,
you're not buffering too much. There's a slight delay, but it's not too bad.
Okay. Let me get rid of this Bahamas because I don't think that's helping.
Probably not, but that's cool.
Right. So no, I don't think he should be disqualified.
No?
Nah. Do you know what? Let him do what he's got to do, innit? Headlock. You can't put someone in a headlock.
I agree. I'm not saying you should be able to put someone in a headlock, but also you definitely can't kick someone. Like, you definitely can't be kicking people.
Yeah, but come on, man. There was a lot of animosity in that fight.
Yeah. Either way, Nick Ball did his job, right?
Because if we're really going to go there, let's talk about how many times people punch each other after the bell goes.
Yeah, but that's a bit different. It
Why
is
is
a
that
boxing
different?
match, isn't it? Like you are punching each other. You shouldn't do it, but Nick Ball has kicked him or kneed him.
What about Joshua and Dillian White? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that was very late. Dillian White right up. Well,
After
yeah,
the bell, when the ref tried to go back to the corners and he tried to throw it overhand over the ref to hit
yeah.
Joshua. It's a sport, man. You're in a fighting game.
I agree. I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying he should have been disqualified. I'm just bringing up the question because he then had a point deducted later on in the fight as well. So I think it's just an interesting point to be made. But Nick Ball did his job. He's becoming a bit of a star now. I mean, he already is, really. But he's definitely becoming someone we can actually rely on in Britain to keep their world title. Potentially, there's a pound-for-pound fighter in there with Nick Ball. Realistically, do I see him losing to anyone other than Naoya Inoue? Not really. Not that I can think of.
It's interesting. The Inoue fight makes for great viewing.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So I'm interested to see that fight, to see where it lands and where it ends up. Do you get it? So for me, I think they both offer amazing things in the fight. I just think it's a great fight. I think it'd be Nick Ball's hardest fight to date, in my opinion. You know, I knew he's going in as a favourite, but Nick Ball fights on the front foot. I really think I knew he's not fought anyone like that aggressive like Nick Ball. So it'd be interesting to see how he deals against someone like that. But Anui is a world class operator, man. So I feel like it'd be interesting to watch. It will be Nick Ball's hardest fight to date. I don't think you'll see his aggressiveness throughout the fight because I think Anui will. It'll be a chess match. I don't think Nick Ball can dive in against him because he'll get knocked out. But then if Nick Ball catches Inui's been dropped before. Do you get it? So it's like, oh God, it's like you've got that, and then you look at, say, for example, when he gets back up after the 10 count, Nick Ball's going to be straight on him again. So it'd be interesting to see how he deals with that.
I hate to say it, I don't think Nick Ball puts him down.
If the question is he skilled enough to do it?
That's my worry. The fighter whose name is escaping me at the moment, but the Mexican guy who went to Japan, who did put Naoya Inoue down, he had extremely fast hands. That's what caused the slight problem. And then Inoue got up and was just the most ruthless fighter for the next 2 rounds before he stopped him. I don't think Nick Ball's quick enough. But I also think it's almost like, you know that Terence Crawford when he fought Sean Porter, and in round 10 in his corner, they're telling him, you might be down in this fight. And Crawford's going, what? I might be down. And they piss him off a bit. They're like, yeah, you actually might be losing this on the judges. Crawford then goes out, knocks Porter down within the first 30 seconds and finishes him in that round. That's the same with Inoue. You put him on the canvas, he's going to get back up and he's going to be so angry, but it's channeled. It's sensible and clever. I can't see a world where Nick Ball wins, but I would love it because Nick Ball is, one, British, but also he's a really good person to have in boxing. I really like him. I can't see that. Inoue is just so good, so quick. But the good news is they've kind of been going back and forth on Twitter. That fight is looking pretty imminent. Obviously, now Inoue's got the next 2 fights lined up against Cardenas in Vegas, and then in Saudi he is fighting Akhmadaliev. So that's probably this year done.
Yeah.
Although maybe he'll fight in December. No, Inoue fights a lot. So hard to say, but it looks like that fight will happen sooner rather than later. Probably end of the year, which is good. Now, that's done. We've got a big fight this week in Australia. We're going to talk about that last. We're going to go through some nitpicky stuff now. First of all, I know you wanted to talk about this. Deontay Wilder with the comeback. Don't call it a comeback. But it's not a comeback, and it shouldn't be a comeback, and it's a bit of a disgrace.
Imagine a world where you can lose. How many fights has he lost in a row?
Oh, Zhang
When's the last
Parker
time
Fury. Oh, there's
Yeah.
Hellenius in there, isn't there? So he's technically that one, but that doesn't count for anything.
So let's look at it like this, yeah? Because I need to bring this up. 1 second. I shall bring up. So we are talking Deontay Wilder, yeah, who has since 2019 has won one fight, and he's fought once, twice, lost twice against Fury, beat Hellenius, lost against Parker, lost against Zhang. So now we've got the WBC International Vacant Heavyweight title that was on the line against Parker. WBC. So you would think that Parker would go up in the rankings because he got that WBC International belt.
You'd hope so, yeah.
No. We'll just put Wilder first. So now he's fighting Ajit Kabayel for an interim belt to then potentially face what at the moment looks like Usyk, or depending on how the belts kind of fall out in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Or they're upgraded to a champ again, and Deontay Wilder becomes WBC champion. Boxing's fucked.
Yeah, really fucked. There's not even much more we can say about this because
I can't
there's
even
not.
say boxing. Heavyweight boxing is fucked.
All boxing.
Nah, heavyweight boxing specifically. To be honest, WBC are fucked. You know that.
WBC are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mauricio might be in a place like this, just making decisions that don't make any sense. So for me,
I reckon he just tries to piss people off, you know. Like, how can I piss Paolo off today?
Maybe. He's never probably watched any of the stuff I do. But I feel like if he did, he'd think, we'll do it more. We'll piss people like Paolo off more. Because what has Wilder done to get a vacant title shot? Sorry, vacant interim title shot.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, he's actually having now more success by losing and being completely inactive than he had when he beat Hellenius. Which Hellenius, like, I'm not saying that's a good win, but at least he beat someone.
Mm.
And he then went from that into Saudi fights.
I mean, my argument is when you see stuff like this happen, how can you be so against what Dana White's doing, by the way?
Well, we're going to get into this because the Dana White stuff, I'm not against it, but I don't think it's going to work because, Joe, let's talk about that now because the Wilder stuff, there's not much more to say other than it's just completely fucked up. So let's get into the Dana White stuff. So for those that don't know, it was announced this week the fight purses for his boxing league or boxing UFC equivalent called TKO. So $20,000 for a 10-round bout by an unranked fighter. $50,000 when ranked by the company at number 5 to 10. $125K when ranked by the company at number 3 to number 4. $375,000 if you're the challenger, and $750,000 when defending the belt. So when you're the champion. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money, and for a lot of fighters, that will be good. Why are you in the library?
I'm in the library now because I'm trying to read what I'm trying to understand in the history books why Deontay Wilder's got a WBC title shot. So we're here. We're in the library.
For that. You're going to be in there a long time. There is no book that can explain that.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Because I think $20,000 for an unranked fighter, 10-round bout, that's probably better than what boxers are getting right now.
I'm happy for the boxers because the boxers will get paid for it. Do you get it? So
Yeah, but then
yeah,
you work your way up 750k. Do you think anyone's going to actually go for that?
maybe it's something that's going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years, I reckon, before we see any real effect on it. But
Yeah.
if I'm honest with you, I'm here for it because I need something new because I've had enough of these title boards. Like, with all due respect, yeah, one of the reasons I have to be careful about what I say is because there's a lot of people that I know within this boxing, same as you, who would love to get to that level. Do you get it? But
Yeah.
and deservedly so, title shots. There's some deserving champions, by the way, but there's also many that haven't warranted having the shot, or they've been awarded a belt and not really done anything for it. And I think that's the kind of side of it that puts these boards down. Because when you look at Dana White's model, it's one champion. Yes, some of the divisions have an interim title champion in UFC, be it Tom Aspinall and John Jones in the UFC, for example, at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall's interim, John Jones is the heavyweight champion. But you've got to have that in case people don't fight, because that can still happen even in a model like this.
Yeah, injuries, all sorts, yeah.
But I do think IBF, WBC all have a separate rankings to determine who's a better boxer. I just think it's bollocks, to be honest with you. Like, if, for example, yeah, when we looked at the rankings for like the IBF, WBC, on one of them, if I'm not mistaken, Joshua was 2, and then on another board he wasn't ranked at all. So it's like, what does that say about the credibility of it? It's all about money, yeah. Same as the British Board of Boxing Control, joke man, because of all the things that they've been doing with the Eubank, proper dodgy, 100 grand for throwing an egg, grow up. And I just think these boards do these things for money. What commercially makes sense for them, I get it. They're a business. They're going to do what is in the best of their interest. But please don't sit there and go like it's for boxing, because you can't tell me if you can find me one reason why Deontay Wilder is justified a shot at the interim title when Ajit Kabayel shouldn't even have to have another interim fight. He should be getting a full whack title shot, in my opinion.
Yeah,
100%. Because of when you look at what he's done. But listen, this is the problem with the boxing boards, and this is why there's so much criticism behind them. The old ways are not always the best ways.
No, I agree. I prefer the Dana White format. The UFC format is so much better than what we've got currently.
The problem that Dana White have, go on.
My worry is that is not enough money he's giving to challengers and champions.
You say
even though it's a lot of money.
You say that though, but when we're talking 500 grand's a lot of money to get to that point.
Yeah.
Realistically, 20 grand a fight. Some of these guys don't earn that on small hall shows.
No, so the 20 grand is crazy. That's really good. And I'm happy to see that number. That I'm very happy with. 50,000 for like a ranked fighter, decent. 125, decent. The worry is that for this to be successful, all right, we will watch it the first few times if it's just prospects. Of course we will, because it's a whole new way the boxing's going to work or could work.
Freezing up a bit as well.
Yeah, I know my internet's not great today. I don't know why, but we need pound for pound stars.
Yeah.
Why am I freezing up so much? What is going on? Oh, let me close everything that's not needed. Right. We need pound for pound stars. You need the superstars in the sport. Like, you need your Canelos, your Joshuas, your Furies, your Usyks, your Tank, Haney, Garcia. They don't fight for less than... They're not fighting for less than $1 million. They're not getting out of bed for less than $1 million. That's my worry about it. I'm assuming they want to make their own stars.
Yeah.
Which I understand. But normally, the way it works in the fight world is to become a star, you beat a star.
Yeah, but they're creating their own. They're creating their own division as well.
Yeah, I know, but like Lamont Roach, before he fought Gervonta Davis, not a nobody by any means, but not massively known. Now, he's just gone 12 rounds with Gervonta Davis, drawn the fight. Very unlucky that he didn't get the win.
Should have got the win. Sorry.
Should have got the win. So now he's a bit of a star. UFC. If that was in a UFC format, Lamont Roach would be absolutely fucking loved right now.
You could argue that for people like Roach, this format could work really well.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It would, but you need the Gervonta Davis for Roach to beat. Daniel Dubois was a massive name.
Yeah.
But he is now a superstar because he beat Anthony Joshua at Wembley.
Yeah.
Now, there is also, this is just base pay. That doesn't necessarily include the potential pay-per-view numbers that could come into it. And that's where that's where a lot of the money will get done, right? It'll be a case of how well you promote yourself and how well you sell the fight directly correlates how much money you're going to get. Which is what happens with a lot of fighters at the moment. So potentially it'd be 750,000 with a 20% of the pay-per-view. But I can't, from what I know about the UFC, it won't be that high. And only some fighters get that privilege, like the Conor McGregors and the John Jones, who make that kind of money.
This is what I'm saying to you, bro. Like, it's really interesting to see where this is going to go. But I feel like you've got to try it. I'm open for trying.
100%.
I feel as if we're talking about a division that could grow, give it time, and we'll see what happens. Because the money's there to do it. This is the thing. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think you can criticize it till you see it. And I'll be the first to criticize it if it's shit. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think anything that Turkey's involved with is going to be terrible, in my opinion. Just going off his work and what he's done. Do you get it? So it's interesting.
No, 100%. I hope it works as well. I'm just worried that the paycheck's not enough. But like I say, we don't have the full numbers. This is just the disclosed amounts initially. Yeah. Potentially there'll be a pay-per-view thing that comes into it and all sorts. Right, let's talk about this. This has come out fairly recently, as in the last sort of hour or so. Jake Paul thinks he could beat Anthony Joshua.
Let's talk about that. But before we talk about that, let me just get a suitable background for this.
I'm a suitable background for this, like
turn on, not now. Right, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua have. Jake Paul's come out and said that he could knock Anthony Joshua out.
Yeah.
There we go. There's me and Wilder in the background there. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, carry
on. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, it's obviously just a load of fucking shit. AJ would kill him.
Yeah, 100%. There's no in such like that anything else would happen. Jake Paul genuinely thinks that he's better than Anthony Joshua. But listen, I got to respect it. The delusion. You have to respect the delusion. But these guys would die in the ring.
Yeah.
Can I just say die? Because if you're telling me that you can beat Anthony Joshua, then let's look at his weight and where he's fighting at, cruiserweight. Go and fight Jay Opatea. Drop down. Go and fight Bivol. Go and fight Beterbiev. The fact that he thinks he can beat Canelo is mental, by the way. But this is where we're at with Jake Paul. Genuinely. I think it's smart what he does because he draws out clickbait. But that is all it is, clickbait.
Yeah.
We're
never going to see him in there with any of these guys.
He can't get in there with any of them. Do you understand that?
Not unless they're 60.
he can't fight Bivol, Beterbiev, Joshua, Fury, Usyk. The guy that's doing the podcast with Jake Paul. Hate these American podcasts that do this. So it's a funny one. I hate this one. Yeah, he got knocked down in his last fight.
Oh,
Okay. Who did you fight in your last fight, Jake? Jake? Who did you fight? From what I saw, it was a man who was broken, old, and a shell of the man he used to be. Because he's older. There's no disrespect to him, but he can't box anymore. Mike Tyson can't box.
Yeah, and I'm not being funny. Jake Paul couldn't hurt a 60-year-old man. He's not hurting AJ. He's not touching AJ. And AJ will flick him into a different ring, to a different stadium.
Yeah, it's interesting, but genuinely there'll be delusional people out there who think, do you know what's mad, yeah? Some people, and I'm not joking, yeah, I need to go back on something, yeah? There a man that said to me that Mike Tyson could mix it up with some of the current heavyweights now. Do you know that? I'm not, by the way, you lot that said that, I've not heard none of you say nothing after the Jake Paul fight, by the way. Yeah. I said the 30th ranked heavyweight would put Mike Tyson in hospital now. 40th ranked.
Yeah.
Really,
literally any heavyweight that's active and it keeps himself in shape beats Mike Tyson quite easily. No. That's not disrespectful. Oh yeah, now, yeah. Obviously, prime for prime, that's a whole different thing. But it's just the way it is. He's a 60-year-old man who's put his body through like unhealthy amounts of training for years. He's not going to be fit now. He is an old man. Jake Paul would get, like, it would almost be not worth watching him versus AJ, because AJ would like hurt him to a point where you'd actually then go, this is a bit worrying. Like what he did to Ngannou, where you're like, that shouldn't have happened, that fight.
Yeah.
That was too much. But it'd be worse, because Ngannou's a big guy. Ngannou's a heavyweight. Jake Paul's no heavyweight. It's not going to happen. And anyone that thinks AJ would lose that, because there will be people, because AJ's got a whole load of haters who are just as delusional as is some of the fanboys of AJ. I don't understand the hate that he gets. I mean, he's done so much. But there'll be people that think he will. If you think he'll lose to Jake Paul, boxing is not for you. I would recommend badminton, racquetball, or pickleball, which is becoming quite a big sport. Boxing ain't for you.
What's pickleball?
I don't know. I saw Jurgen Klopp playing it. It's like tennis, but in like the ball hits the sides of the walls and stuff. Yeah. That one. I've never played it. I reckon I'd be fucking good though. I played squash once at school, and you should have seen me, pal. I was unbelievable.
I can't even remember being at school now.
Old.
Yeah, man. I'm 30, bro. 30. You left school like 4 years ago.
Well, I left college 2 years ago. But
yeah. So you left school 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, secondary school. Yeah. That's weird, actually.
That was a long time ago.
Anyway.
Weird, isn't it? But yeah, like, let's be honest, yeah? Let's have it right. We're talking about, where does Jake Paul sit in terms of these heavyweights? Absolutely nowhere.
No.
He don't even. Do you know when? Who's that model that I want to call her a model? It's probably a loose word. But she's been doing that challenge with the 100 guys. He's like 90th in the line to go into the room, if we want to use that analogy.
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's a crazy analogy, but yeah.
I landed. But yeah, look, we're a proper boxing show. Bun Jake Paul, let's move on.
Right. We're going down under. So, Australia. That's so bad. It's so bad. I need to stop doing it. I said to myself before the show, I was like, will I do it? And I was like, nah. And I just did it. I can't regret it now. Anyway, George Kambosos Jr. is fighting on his first Matchroom show. We got Sky Nicholson fighting Tiara.
Because he was Top Rank before, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's now gone to a kind of proper promotion that does their job. No disrespect to Bob, but you're too old, mate. And then Sky Nicholson is fighting. I don't want to get this name.
What are you saying? Bob's on the stairs? Is that what you're telling me?
A little bit. Sky Nicholson is fighting Tiara Brown. Tiara Brown, who I messaged about 3 years ago to try and get an interview. She said yes, and then I somehow insulted her. I made a joke about the time difference, about America, how they're always late. Can't remember what I said exactly.
Wow.
But then she cancelled the interview.
Connor. What did you say?
So,
clarify what you said, please.
I don't know. It was a time zone based joke. It was not funny. It wasn't like insulting, but she was just like, "Oh, I'm not doing an interview with you now." I don't know. It was on my old account as well. This is before I was the famous Hooked Boxing. Let's see if I have it.
Connor, what did you say?
I don't know. I'm not logged into that account.
She's always late. That's going to cause a big issue, Connor.
I'd say she was always late.
She might have taken that as what?
No. It was. I know what you mean. It was not like that.
Get it? No, but I'm saying.
I know. That's not what I've said.
It
was not. It was not like, okay, to confirm. I felt like I need to do this. My first first apology video.
Cancelable moment.
It was not anything racist. Yeah. It was fuck. See, now I really need to find it because now I feel.
No, you basically just made a joke about the time zone. I'm just fucking with you. You just made a joke about the time zone. That's it.
Literally. Yeah. To be fair, it wasn't actually that bad.
She seems quite on edge though, in general. So, like, I think.
Yeah, I think we had arranged it. No, I think she cancelled. That's what it was. She cancelled, and I said something about time zones, and I think she thought I was being like a bit sarky, and I was actually just being legitimate about. It's cool. Like you're in a different time zone. I think she thought I was being a bit annoyed about the fact that she hadn't actually come to the interview. Anyway, she cancelled the interview, so I'm hoping Sky Nicholson wins. But if not, then if Tiara, if you ever watch this, if you want to do the interview, I am still happy to do it. But that's not happening because Sky Nicholson will win. So
Sky Nicholson,
that's a bit of backstory.
Don't lose a lot of rounds, you know.
No, I think it'll be a good fight though. This is the first time I think anyone's kind of gone, I'm actually really don't like Sky Nicholson. I'm going to beat you up. Raven Chapman tried to do it, but you could kind of tell they maybe not liked each other, but there was a bit of respect there. Whereas I don't think Tiara Brown has any respect for Sky Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Very excited for it. And then you got Taramana Jr., who is in an okay fight, but he's an interesting heavyweight to watch out for.
It's a good card. I like what Australia are doing, by the way, because they're creating their own kind of nights like this.
Yeah.
And I think Australia have got some great fighters, to be honest.
Definitely. I forgot Chernica Johnson versus Nina Hughes is on the undercard as well. That's a really good fight.
Good fight.
That's a good card. It's a small card as well, not too long. So Kambosos obviously main event and Sky Nicholson co-main. I don't know what time this is going to start. It's Saturday, but who's behind your head now? Money Mayweather. You know, you already know when someone's on their shot, like someone's on a boxer's on someone's shoulders and there's loads of people around them. You know it's Floyd. Don't know what it is, but you know it's Floyd.
Yeah, I like this. I'm going to do this more often.
Maybe I should get involved with that. I don't know if I've got anything.
Just download one image, man, and just put it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, if I have to talk a little bit about the Australian cards, I think what Eddie Hearn's doing is really good over there. Yeah. He's had a couple of cards where he's established these like Australian cards that are great. Top Rank tried to do something like that, but as always, Top Rank. I actually like if we're talking about ranking the promotions, yeah.
Yeah.
Top rank are Southampton right now.
Huh.
Do you not think?
Yeah. It's
Compare them to
yeah.
Prem, I feel like Boxer are probably like a Chelsea right now. They're thereabouts.
Yeah. They're not bad. They could be better, but yeah,
I
they do
feel
some
like
good stuff.
Matchroom might be Queensbury. Matchroom might be Arsenal, and at the moment, Queensbury might be Liverpool
Come on.
because of the link up of like how many times Frank's fights has won against Eddie Hearns. I don't think you could give Queensbury flipping Arsenal to get it.
Yeah, but you know how annoyed that's going to make Frank.
Why is that?
Massive Arsenal fan. He's got
Massive
a
Arsenal
box.
fan, but he's got to accept how shit his team is.
Trophyless again. So as
Yeah.
Patrice Evra says, they're always waiting for next season, like a Netflix show.
Yeah, man.
Terrible club.
But jokes aside, like I think top tier so far from the other promotions now, like the gap's actually getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it
So,
is. It is. And,
Eddie
top
Hearn-
rank can't keep up.
Eddie Hearn's showing Bob how to do a show down under. The only thing that
Yeah.
Bob's got seems to has patterned at the moment are the Tokyo shows.
Yeah, he's also Bob Arum still gets all of the not all, but a lot of the American prospects. He's taken Keyshawn Davis right to a world title.
I think Keyshawn will be with Eddie Hearn soon.
He won't be. Yeah, he won't be with Bob's for much longer. That's for sure. Then you got like Abdullah Mason, who I always mention, but Jared Anderson still top rank technically. The other Davis brothers. And Emiliano Vargas, very good prospect. They got a lot of fighters. The problem, top rank, is if I like Keyshawn Davis is a huge name. I don't think he's that well known anywhere but America.
No, I think the boxing fans know Keyshawn Davis, but you're right, the casuals don't.
This is the thing. Like casual fans are starting to learn because of Saudi, because of Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, Frank Warren, Turkey, Al Sheikh, not the country. Like they're starting to learn about these other guys. Your Boatsies and your Callum Smith. I mean, Callum Smith's quite big anyway.
You know what it is though, as well. You've got to make sure that your fighters are good, that they're in there for a reason, but also they appeal to the casuals, because the casuals are what pay for maybe 70%.
Yeah.
Of the boxing tickets. So the casual, your fighters got to appeal to the casuals, and I don't think Top Rank are good at doing that.
No, not at all. And you got like Teofimo Lopez fighting on Friday shows because they can't even. They've got a fighter that's way ability wise better than he is, both personality because he's a shitbag and in terms of just the selling ability.
Yeah.
Like, in fairness, they probably didn't know that Teo was going to be such a cunt, and I do apologize for that word, but I hate him. He's just I don't actually understand how he's still getting away with saying all the stuff he does. Like there's literally no repercussion, but whatever.
Do you know what though? He's in a perfect sport for it because in this sport you actually get to punch people up for saying this sort of thing.
Yeah, I know it's good, and it also means like
he'll get his come up.
100%. He always does. He's a really good fighter, but he's very beatable.
Yeah, but he's underachieved massively, and not in terms of honours. He's done everything he wanted to do at 25. But let's be honest, if you're undisputed champion, do you want to leave this sport not being happy with maybe the purses that you've had? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's his top payday? Like 2 million?
Something like that. Yeah. Because he shared
That's ridiculous, by the way. That is ridiculous. Like for an undisputed champion to earn 2 million from headlining a fight in men's boxing, bearing in mind you could get $1 million for fighting in Saudi and you're not the main event.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Isn't it?
It is crazy.
I think Top Tier are probably the worst boxing promotion out there.
Top Rank, not Top Tier. Top Tier are the one that go in
Top Tier,
Essex.
are out of Essex. Big up to them. I'm getting
they're out of Brentwood, aren't they? Yeah.
Brentwood. Top Tier, good. Apologies, let me retract.
Johnny Clark, shout out Johnny Clark.
Top Tier Johnny Clark. I'm talking about Top Rank. Sorry, Top Rank are the worst boxing promotion ever.
I don't know about ever, but right now, definitely.
All right, Top Rank are the worst boxing promotion right now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm up for that. That's cool. That's very cool. Right. That is everything for this week. We'll do fight predictions. I don't think are we going to put a wager on it this week? Which reminds me,
I'm still waiting for you to send me the juice ingredients.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. We need it. So we're going to do a reel for that. We'll put. I think we got a video for. We'll put that out this week. We'll get some little recommendations. So you're doing that next week. The fights this week, I think, realistically aren't that competitive. George Kambosos Jr. should win.
Sky, that is a competitive fight. She's gonna.
It's a tough fight. I respect her for taking it, but I think she's so much better than that level.
Sky.
I mean that as a compliment when I say it.
Yeah, but just remember, on any day, if you don't come 100% correct, you can always slip up. So Sky's got to make sure that she does what's expected of her.
Yeah, of course.
And she's prepared well, which I'm sure she has. And she goes in, and I rate Sky Nicholson highly in it. So for me, anything less than a great performance, which can happen because we're human, she'll be disappointed with it. If she doesn't control the fight, but she wins and is scrappy, she won't be happy with that. But
no, of course
and you can see that in the quality that she puts into her box in each fight, because she controls fights, start to finish. Maybe lost one round between fights. She don't lose many rounds though.
No. I'm not disrespecting her in terms of the opponent. I just think I think it's another fight she'll win. But I don't think it will look as clean as it usually does. Because Tiara Brown, I think, is a bit of that typical kind of American, like, really hates losing to the point of we'll do anything. Like, we'll step on your toes, we'll grapple, we'll chuck you to the ground. I reckon there'll be some weird stuff in this fight. But I do think Sky Nicholson will still win fairly convincingly. And that is boxing this week. So, Paolo, any final notes, final words for the people?
It's good to leave it with like, share, and subscribe, man. More positive
like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Big up to everyone that watches the channel. We're here every week. Join in, have your say in the conversation. The link's always down there, but you've got to be live. Every Thursday at 7:45. And that's it, man.
Yeah.
Boxing this week.
Done.